All right. Moving on to it, yet another beef in this little corner of the internet here. David Collins is in the midst of some turmoil.
This will win Hack Ride back, I think.
When Hack Ride back, how do you mean? Oh, yeah. They have a common enemy now.
Yes.
Well, as I said to Hack Ride's part of the family. Another man who's part of the family is David Collins.
That's right.
And so I like to think we support our own here. And so it seems we've got an enemy.
We sure do.
And someone has been fucking with David Collins. Luckily, as it's proven in these clips, my hands are completely clean. But let's hear from David Collins on the latest episode of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. I will say, I asked David Collins to fill in next week. Seems like he has no guests booked. And I said, do you want to do a fill-in show for us? And he was like, no dice.
That's how you said it, too.
No, he was much nicer than that. But
that would have stunned me.
No, he was much more polite. But let's hear from David Collins.
Finally, we have to get to this, and I really, like I've said before, we try to avoid negativity on this show, so we're going to try to take this as positively as we can and just go through the motions and do some real objective reporting, I think. I'm not really sure, but we're going to have to talk about a little bit about this guest that I would love to have had on the show this month. In fact, we would have loved to have him interview for the reality show and a few other things, or just give me a no and interaction. Now, of course, this is not the first guest that has turned me down or even left the messages on red. People let me know all the time, I'm a little busy, or I'd prefer not to do any shows right now, or that's not a show that I'd like to do. And we respectfully take that answer for what it is, and there's not much you can do about that. But I think that you listening at home here are going to find, just like we did, that this is a completely different circumstance. Of course, we're talking about comedian Ray DeVito.
That's right. Ray DeVito somehow has gotten in his head that he's too big for David Collins, and we can't stand for that. That's a lot of horse hockey, quite frankly.
Yep.
If I may be so bold. Who the fuck does this Ray DeVito think he is? He's ducking David Collins?
I don't like that.
I don't like it at all. David Collins is our guy. Now, I will say, when David Collins first started reaching out to me, I didn't know who he was, so I wasn't necessarily eager to get on the program, but I was open-minded, and I fell in love with the guy. Boy, did I enjoy doing his show.
You still did the show.
I absolutely did. Ray DeVito thinks his shit doesn't stink, apparently. Who the fuck is this Ray DeVito guy? Quite frankly, when I see Ray DeVito invited on the show, I turn it off. I'm like, oh, God, why do people think this man is entertaining? He's a bore. If someone the level of David Collins invites you on, I would think to Ray DeVito, that should be a privilege.
No kidding.
Not a task that you have to do. So let's hear a little more. David goes on to explain this scenario.
Well, why don't we reach out? Why don't we get a conversation going? At this point, I think that's always a good place to start. Before you ask anything of anybody, at least just have a conversation going. So we reach out to him on social media. No response for many weeks. We try to follow up. I'm unable to follow up. So we begin sending a few emails. I get no response. At a certain point, we have guests. We're trying to plan far ahead there, and the show is moving on. I think to myself, why don't I reach out to friend of the show, Blind Mike Geary, and ask him to see if there's anything he could do to assist in this. And I was very embarrassed to even ask for that.
Never a problem, buddy. Anytime.
Always.
Never an issue, my friend. That's what I do for my pals, Ray.
If you want,
dickhead.
You want Coach HP on, David? Hit me up. I got his number.
Yes.
Carl of WATP, who assured us that he could just send a text and remedy the situation.
And then I
have another super chat. Go ahead.
Ray DeVito has apparently blocked David Collins or something. My boy David Collins wants Ray DeVito on his show.
Okay.
And I think Ray DeVito would be a perfect David Collins guest.
For sure.
So I told him that I would in some way, I don't know how to contact Ray DeVito, but we got to get him on David Collins' show.
Oh, I can text him. Yeah, I can do that.
All right, cool.
No problem.
Well, what a friend that guy is.
Carl,
I'd like to have him in my corner.
I'm very eager.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it is anything to do with him particularly, although at this time he is not Carl is not responding to my emails, or returning my emails, I should say. So we'll see exactly if anything's going on. Worst case scenario, I will be seeing him July 3rd. So that will be nice. We'll have a nice lunch and maybe do a show then. So I'm not too concerned about that exactly. I trust that he did what he said he would do there. Anyway.
I like where David's head's at, I gotta say. And I think David probably looks at it and says, this Carl guy could destroy me. You know, who are these podcasts? They could review David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show and wipe me off the map. So I'll say what David might be too afraid to. Carl could be part of this conspiracy.
I think he might be.
That's how high it goes, I think.
I think it might be.
I'm not... Listen, I'm open-minded. I'm not going to take it off the table, certainly. Carl could be pulling the puppet strings here. But all I wanted to really show with that clip is that I'm a pretty decent guy.
You have his back.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the story.
I write to him something along those lines. I've been attempting to reach you for a variety of subjects, and that's exactly what it is. We would have loved to interview him for the reality show, first of all, and maybe had him as a guest on the show in the future. But Ray DeVito was kind enough to respond in the comment sections. He assures me at that time, I haven't seen anything, not ignoring you, which is great news. So I respond to him, well, all the correspondents are sending me automatic replies that let me know that he's not seeing them. So there seems to be an issue, and I hope that he would be to resolve that there. So we wait another week or two, of course. And at this point, I would just like an answer if he's purposely ignoring me, if this is just a prank, or what exactly is going on here. So I resort to actually going on to one of his live streams. And this is when, to me, Ray DeVito is revealed to be a liar.
Can I say real quick? David Collins does not get like this. I've never seen him like this.
I saw him briefly before a show, not realizing I saw this until we started.
This is a man pushed to the brink. You know, like to get this type of reaction out of David Collins, Ray DeVito has really crossed the fucking line here. So I can't wait to see what this is.
This is I'm glad to see you're doing okay, Craig energy that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Hey, Collins, can I confirm you ignored my correspondence?
Oh my God, Ray.
Correspondence.
I guess, what is my correspondence? Is this David? Is this Stevie Lou doing a work? Like, you are the lawyer? You are the lawyer.
Boy, is Ray terrible.
I don't know who you are, David.
Huh?
I got to apologize to Hackride. So when Hackride tried to get us to shit on Ray DeVito, I just didn't care about Ray. It's kind of like with Steel Toe. I just don't give a fuck about Ray DeVito. But boy, is he terrible.
Yeah.
Like the few times we've played clips of him, we're like, Jesus Christ, this guy stinks. Why David is going to do him the privilege of having him on at this point is beyond me. But
I hope it's with this energy. I hope he brings one just to tell him how much of a piece of shit he is.
Well, David did say, I don't know if I have it included, but David did say, you know, perhaps Ray is hesitant to do the show because I'm a bit of a hot interviewer. It's like, I like that attitude, David.
Collins, but I did not get your correspondence.
Oh my God.
That's a lie.
Ray conquered.
Now, one thing about that clip, you'll hear me in the background yell, "That's a lie," a little quiet. Incidentally, I was actually on the phone with Hackride as I was listening to this clip. And I was telling him, this is very
Yeah, Hackride rubbing his mitts together. Yes. Go after Ray DeVito.
This is the moment Hackride's been waiting for his entire time.
I know he is too, because Hackride sent me this actually. Like I always listen to David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show when it comes out.
Mhm.
But Hackride sent me this one and goes, "You're gonna want to listen to this. Pretty good."
I think we need to take the leash off old Hackride.
I originally thought when I said I messaged Hackride back, I originally thought there's a different story in this episode. This episode is worth a watch. Go check it out in its entirety, because there's another. David was threatened with a lawsuit by someone he made a video of. I don't know if I ever showed you. He made a video kind of like, it would be like his "Why Are You Laughing" versus this podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
"Why Are You Laughing?" I take a little more like serious, I guess.
Yeah.
He did an episode like that about a subject. It was like humor.com or something like that. I forget what funny.com something. And the guy who runs that website threatened to sue him.
Why?
David's making waves. Go check out David Collins. But
He had the fun. He posted on Instagram. He had a man on the street video,
I saw that too. Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, can you tell me a joke?" And the guy was like, "What's the difference between like Santa and a Jew?" And David just goes, "Uh-oh." That was his response.
I saw him do one. They played a game he plays on his show called Sign the Joke.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, this might be a different one though, because he goes up to someone and goes, "Would you like to play Sign the Joke?" And the guy goes, "What's that?" And David just starts reading a joke. And he goes, the guy goes, "Are you asking me a question? What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, he had no idea what was going on. And David was like, "I don't have my buzzer with me, but that was not the right answer."
But David continues here.
Okay.
So you have to ask yourself, what is Ray DeVito hiding?
Great question.
Ray DeVito, over his career, has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He's earned a reputation that's a little tough in Los Angeles, as far as I understand. While I was speaking with Hack Ride, he actually sent me this clip, which is a Kobe Bryant joke.
Of course he did.
Very distasteful.
ABC News confirming the 5-time NBA champion for the Los Angeles Lakers was among 5 people killed when a helicopter crashed.
I did a new joke. I like the idea of it. Kobe Bryant's like, obviously, it's one of the greatest players of all time. Him dying in that helicopter crash, like you can't really blame that pilot. Like, it's Kobe's helicopter. Like, if I'm a helicopter pilot and Kobe Bryant's on a helicopter and he gives me a pep talk, like, dude, you can do this. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're taking off. I'm doing this. So, like, I'm not going to disappoint the Mamba. It's like getting a pep talk from Michael Jordan. It's like, yeah, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to fucking take it to the hoop. I'm going to do this. And then then he just ran into the wall. It turns out the mountain took the charge. And I saw the replay. The mountain didn't move.
Terrible.
I will say I'm not particularly offended by the joke, but it is nonsense.
It's I think Hack Ride even said that he's not offended by the joke. He's
What
offended.
the fuck is he talking about?
He's offended at how bad the joke was, but I don't want to speak for Hack Ride. Of course.
Okay. I remember when Hack Ride showed me the joke like a year ago.
Yeah.
I thought he was like offended, and I was like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna like try and cancel it." But I was like, "It is a terrible joke."
Awful. Truly terrible.
But David has some more. David has some more dirt on Ray DeVito.
This is his final words on it.
Oh well, he also talked about a car crash Ray was in where he tried to raise funds, and it seemed like kind of a Chad Zumach thing where the funds were maybe going to not exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, definitely worth checking out. If you want to know more about this, go check out David Collins' last episode at David Collins Show on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts.
So you have to ask yourself, why would you be so dishonest with a story like this? Why not just tell the truth? Well, following Ray's car accident, a Kickstarter was started by comedian and healthcare professional Ruby Nicholas. This Kickstarter quickly raised almost $5,000. I would love to have brought these facts to Ray briefly and we could move on from it, I'm sure. I would love to have had him on the show to get his perspective. My speculation, this was one small lie to maybe her or 2 or 3 people that quickly got out of hand and turned into a monetary opportunity. But a large mistake, of course. Would have loved to hear Ray's sides of the story here, but as he has insisted multiple times, he's never heard of me and he has not seen any of my correspondence.
Correspondence,
yes. And this is after, I assume, Carl reached out.
motherfucker.
So who does this Ray guy think he is? This is pretty shitty behavior by Ray DeVito. And by a guy who he doesn't really deserve the benefit of the doubt, quite frankly. You know?
Did Carl reach out though?
That's ultimately. I got to tell you, Craig, I didn't want to say it.
I did.
That's ultimately what I wonder too. Is this all Carl's fault?
This can't be.
And an innocent man is being blamed.
What does Ray DeVito have on Carl?
That's what I believe me. It's what I wonder every time he's on that fucking show. I'm like, what?
Like, Hack Ride, do whatever you want.
But yeah, go support David Collins in his fight against Ray DeVito. And like I said, go listen to the full episode because it's very it's interesting stuff that he's talking about. So check out our boy David Collins. I had to promote his show this week because he's too big to fill in for us in a couple weeks. I guess.